Assessors meeting to order at 9 a.m. on Thursday, May 6, 2021. I would ask everyone to bear with me because I'm obliged to read a rather lengthy opening statement. Good morning. Welcome to the May 6, 2021 Board of Assessors meeting. As chair of the Board of Assessors, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12 pursuant to Executive Order 2020-4, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized by the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that we are A, providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We're utilizing Zoom through the city's IT department for this electronic meeting. All members of the Board of Assessors have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen into this meeting through dialing the following number: 929-205-6099. Once again, that number is 929-205-6099. And using the meeting ID number 822-4878-5345. Once again, the meeting ID number is 822-4878-5345. And password of 989839. Once again, the password number is 989839. The public may also view the meeting on Comcast channel 16. B, providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting through public postings. Instructions have been provided on the City of Nashua's website at nashuanewhampshire.gov and publicly noticed at City Hall and the National Public Library. C, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem accessing the meeting via phone at channel 16, please call 603-821-2049. Once again, that number is 603-821-2049, and they will help you connect. D, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting via the methods mentioned above, the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, the reason they are not able to attend the meeting in person, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. I will call the roll. Mr. Early.
This is Robert Early, a member of the Board of Assessors. I am following the governor's executive order and joining the meeting remotely from home. There's no one here in the room with me.
Mr. Bergeron.
This is Paul Bergeron, a member of the Board of Assessors. I am also following the governor's executive order and joining the meeting remotely from home. There's no one else in the room with me at the present time.
And I am Daniel Hansberry, following the governor's order, and I am joining the meeting remotely, and there is no one present in the room with me at this time. Is there a motion to waive the reading of the public session minutes of the Board of Assessors meeting held on Thursday, April 15th, 2021, and accept them and place them on file?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Are there any errors or corrections? Seeing none, I will call the roll to accept the minutes as presented. Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron?
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the non-public session of the Board of Assessors meeting, which was held on Thursday, April 15th, 2021, accept them and place them on file?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Are there any errors or corrections? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron?
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes, motion is adopted. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the special Board of Assessors meeting minutes from Monday, April 5th, 2021? Accept them and place them on file.
So moved.
Is there a second? I'm
I
sorry,
will
Mr.
second
Early.
that.
Let me call. I'm sorry, Mr. Early.
I said so moved.
Yes, okay, and Mr. Bergeron seconded. All right. Call. Any errors or corrections? All right, I'll call the roll. Mr. Early? I'm
Yes.
sorry, wait. There is one correction. It should include Mrs. Kleiner, Director Kleiner, as a attendee at the meeting. So there should be a caption added, other City of Nashua staff present. And then it would be Administrative Services Director Kimberly Kleiner. Will you take care of that, Ms. Monahan?
Yes, I will add Ms. Kleiner to the list.
Okay, thank you. All right, sorry. Okay, I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes. Okay. All right, communications. Mr. Vincent, do you have anything for us?
Good morning. No, I have nothing at this time.
Okay, so there are no communications. New business. At this time, I will recognize Lindsay Monahan, who is going to present religious, charitable, educational, and veterans of foreign war exemptions. Ms. Monahan?
Good morning. Yes, this morning we have a number of religious, charitable, educational exemptions, along with one new Veterans of Foreign War exemption. So I'm not sure how you would like to go down the list as far as approving those.
Yes, we can go in the order that you presented them to us in our packet. So is there a motion to approve the Nashua Post 483 Veterans of Foreign Wars of the U.S., of the United States exemption account number 17540?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes, motion is adopted. Okay, so the next one is a religious exemption for St. Mary and Archangel Michael Coptic Orthodox Church Incorporated. So is there a motion to approve the religious exemption account number 39506 for St. Mary and Archangel Michael Coptic Orthodox Church Incorporated?
So moved.
Is there a second?
And I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes, motion is adopted. Okay, so the next one's the charitable exemptions, Ms. Monahan, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so the first one deals with Girls Incorporated. So there's really going to be two motions here. Is there a motion to grant the request of Girls Incorporated to accept the application, which was submitted subsequent to the April 15th deadline?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes, motion is adopted. Is there a motion to approve the charitable exemption for Girls Incorporated of Nashua, account number 38394?
Isn't that the one we just did?
No, well, they didn't file.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Till late April, so we need to acknowledge the fact that it was filed late.
So the first one was to accept the late filing. Okay.
Right,
So moved.
okay. Is there a second?
And I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes, motion is adopted. Is there a motion to grant the charitable exemption renewals for 2021 as presented per the attached list?
So moved.
Is there a second?
And I will second that.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
could I just ask the account numbers without any name? Are they, is there a name attached to them? We just don't list them, or?
The multiple properties, like, for example, with the Catholic Church, every church is owned by the Bishop of Manchester. For example, my property abuts the Catholic Church, and when you look at my deed, one of my neighbors is listed as the Bishop of Manchester.
Okay, so all the numbers under the area agency properties, all belong to the area agency.
Correct, and we'll have Ms. Monahan verify that, but is that correct, Ms. Monahan?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
All right,
no other questions.
all right. Any further discussion? All right, I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes. Motion is adopted. Is there a motion to deny the charitable exemption as presented per the attached list?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes, motion is adopted. Okay, so the next to the religious exemptions, correct, Ms. Monahan?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the religious exemptions as presented per the attached list?
So moved.
Is there a second?
And I will second it.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes.
Mr. Hansberry, yes, motion is adopted. Did we capture everything, Ms. Monahan? I know it was a lot. And
I believe we still have to go over the educational.
What page was? What page was that on?
That, it should have been right after the religious, I believe.
I don't appear to have it either, Mr. Chairman.
No, I don't have it. The last thing that's listed, Ms. Monahan, is the Roman Catholic Bishop of Manchester at the bottom of page 2. And then there's one at the top of, or actually 2 accounts at the top of page 3. And I don't have that insert in my packet.
Oh. Okay, I believe I should have included those.
Unless I missed it early on, but you said sequentially it came after.
I thought so, but it may have been in the front instead.
Okay, so we've got the Veterans of Foreign Wars and the religious exemption, which was the first one, correct?
Yes.
Then we've got the letter that we acted on from Girls Incorporated. Then we have charitable exemptions, and that's page 1. They continue on to page 2. And then page 3, and then there's one at the bottom of page 3 with the recommendation for denial. Then there's religious exemptions, and there's 3 pages there. And that ends with the Roman Catholic Bishop of Manchester. And is it everybody on the board in agreement with that's what was in the packet?
Yes. Yep.
So is there a problem acting on it at the next meeting, Ms. Monahan?
No, no problem at all. I'll include that in the packet for next time.
Okay, all right. Okay, does that conclude your report?
Yes, it does. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Greg Turgis has an in-house correction for us. Mr. Turgis?
Thank you, Chair. First of all, it appears that Mr. Dame is having a little trouble with his audio, so he may come over and use mine when his turn presents itself. He's trying to figure it out as we speak.
Okay,
All right. So the property I have is 9 Mark Street. This is a 1970 mobile home that is being removed by park management. It is very poor condition. Utilities have been disconnected off and on for a number of years. It will be removed and a new one will replace it.
any questions for Mr. Greg Turgis?
Nope.
No, I don't have any.
So is there a motion to approve the assessment reduction for the property located at 9 Mark Street to 0
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes,
Mr. Hansberry, yes. Motion is adopted. Does that conclude your report, Mr. Turgis?
It does at this time. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, so unfinished business, there is none unless anyone has any to bring forward.
no,
Are there people in line for a public comment, Director Kleiner?
Yes, you have 3 residents attending the meeting.
Okay. If the first person is ready to speak, if you could state your name and address for the record, and I would just remind everybody that there's a 5-minute limit per person per comment. So who would like to speak first? I just want to be sure. I'm not hearing anybody direct decliner. Is that correct?
Seems correct. No one has unmuted themselves or stepped forward.
Okay. All right. Are there comments by board members?
I don't have anything.
All right. So is there a motion to go into non-public session for 2 reasons? First, to discuss matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance, a tax abatement, or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy, if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant pursuant to RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, parenthetical C. Second, under 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, parenthetical L, for the consideration of legal advice provided by legal counsel, either in writing or orally, to one or more members of the public body, even where legal counsel is not present.
So moved.
Is there a second? I think you're muted, Mr. Bergeron. Mr. Bergeron,
sorry about that, and I will second that.
all right. I will call the roll. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Bergeron,
Yes,
Mr. Hansberry, yes. Let the record show that we have entered non